Yes, the character's name is Static, not Static Shock. That's just the show title to appeal to more kids in the TV medium. Even the comic book is just titled Static. Except for that one time, but more on that later. Static Shock debuted on the kidsWB in the late 90s, early 2000s at the perfect time for me. Like most people, I'd never heard of him or his books, so I assumed he was an original kidsWB creation. These were the family-friendly adventures of a Black American teenager on a flying saucer who shot lightning at bad guys. And I was sat in front of the TV every Saturday morning to catch the newest episode. Toward the end of the show's run, I found out Virgil Static Hawkins did have his own comic books. Static was created by Dwayne McDuffie, Dennis Cowan, Derek T. Dingle, and Michael Davis in the early 90s under the Milestone Media imprint of DC Comics. Milestone Media wasn't just for Black kids, but comics more Black kids could see themselves in every month. And so Static was tied with Superman for my favorite superhero. And growing up, I got my hands on as many Static comics as I could. Now most fans know and love him from the Static Shock cartoon and aren't big comic book readers. So if you are ever interested in his debut in comics and want to get into his stories, this is where you start. These are my favorite moments from each Static issue 1 throughout the years. Starting in order with Static issue number 1, Trial by Fire, Burning Sensation, June 1, 1993. Written by Dwayne McDuffie and Robert L. Washington III, with art by the late, great John Paul Leon. I really like how real Static sounds. His personality comes straight through in his dialogue and witty retorts. My favorite moment in this book is the opening battle at the arcade against Hot Streak's 5-alarm crew. I love how energetic this fight is. Even Static's speech bubbles have jagged edges that evoke radio waves. So, Frida is supposed to meet Static's alter ego Virgil at the arcade, right? But she's caught the eye of Hot Streak, who sends his 5-alarm crew in to snatch her up. Virgil saw she was in trouble and steps in as Static. The fight shows off his lengthy knowledge of physics when he debuts the taser punch by wrapping an electrostatic field around his fist and serves general helpings to the crew. The colors pop and there's a great sense of space in the arcade as the fight unfolds, eventually spilling into the street where Static ends it with a ball of lightning that sends the gang flying into cars. The rest of the book is just as action-packed, but also balanced well with humor and serious moments at Virgil's home. We meet his mom, who's doing everything she can to keep Virgil out of trouble. And Virgil's creative banter isn't just in costume as Static. It started in the home, trading insults with his big sister, Sharon Razor Lips Hawkins. Now no spoilers, but know that this first issue packs a punch, full of emotional highs and lows, and surprises that aren't limited to Static's OG 90s look. I know most of us grew up on his modern look in the kidsWB cartoon, but I immediately fell in love with his 90s drip back in the day. Long underwear and trench coats were still a thing in the early 90s. The lightning bolt against the dark blue suit, topped off by the Malcolm X hat, or any hat that he could get his hands on, it just works for me. You can find Static issue number 1 collected in the 5-issue trade paperback entitled Trial by Fire. Moving right along, we have Static Shock, Rebirth of the Cool, issue 1. This is the first time our hero's book is titled Static Shock, and it was published less than a year after the hit cartoon premiered. Created by Milestone legends, Dwayne McDuffie, back on writing duties, with art by John Paul Leon. May they rest in peace. Like so many others in the city of Dakota, Virgil gained his powers at the Big Bang. His static powers made him a bang baby, one of the few who survived the experimental police gas at the biggest gang raid in the city that fateful night. Since then, many survivors have been on the run or gone missing. Now a shady but powerful group called the Traffic Men is hunting banging babies down one by one, and Dakota is running low on superheroes, including Virgil, who's quit being static since before summer break began, and he won't say why. Even Frida doesn't know the real reason he threw out his Static costume. It's crazy. Sure, he's more present, and his family, his friends, even his girlfriend Madison see him a lot more now. Life is normal. He doesn't have to lie anymore or cover up battle scars. So why is he so distant and moody? If he really doesn't miss his superhero days, then why does he seem so sad? What really made Virgil quit being Static? Even when all his old hero contacts try to recruit him to help find the missing Bang Babies, Virgil is adamant. It's not his fight, and Static is no more. Let the real heroes save the day. Because there's a cost when you play dress up in Dakota, and his friend Dusk paid the ultimate price. They were a team, but she died saving lives, and he couldn't save her. But that's what I love about Virgil. He's a good kid. To quote Phil Lamar, the voice of Static, he knows what's right and wrong, and he does it. His lightning powers don't define him, his heart does. Virgil is strong, but can also be vulnerable. He's just a kid who got powers, who tries to do the right thing. Dusk tried to do the right thing, and he just misses her. He misses his friend who died too soon. So many teenagers died after the Big Bang, and as Static, he saved as many as he could, but he's got nothing left except his powers, which lead the traffic men right to him. They may be superpowered tweakers, but their weapons are powerful, and they easily take down Virgil's old friend Starlight. There's a huge explosion, but Virgil is able to hide Starlight away safely until she wakes up. The traffic men's tech track Virgil's every move. He's the Bang Baby they were after all along, and Starlight was just caught in the middle. They close in, but they don't know who they're dealing with. Virgil is charged up, and he is pissed. Static is back. New costume, classic attitude. This is only part 1. All 4 parts are collected in the trade paperback, Static Shock, Rebirth of the Cool, so make sure you check that out. Next up is Static Shock, issue number 1, Recharged, from November 2011. Written by Scott McDaniel and drawn by Jonathan Glapion and LeBeau Underwood. With DC's New 52 relaunch, Static and his family were relocated from Dakota to New York City. And this time he's got twin older sisters, which surprised the Hawkins family just as much as the readers. Working alongside the Dakota City hero Hardware and securing an internship at Star Labs helped Static to unravel the twin sister mystery and keep New York City safe at the same time. It was cool to see Hardware back and in a mentor role to Static, even though he sounds like a totally different character in this book. He's too diplomatic, and he doesn't have the edge that he had in his 90s persona when he headlined his own book. Now, skipping the very mixed feelings fans had about this new series, I'm just gonna say my biggest takeaway is the new tech. To date, I've only read about half of the OG run of Milestone Static. 50 to 60 standalone issues ran in the 1990s. And the most high-tech arsenal I was exposed to came through his on-screen partner, Gear, from the cartoon. Otherwise, I'm used to him relying on his powers and scientific savvy to handle threats and save lives. And this issue opens up with all that, just like back in '93. Only this time, Static goes from rescuing people from citywide destruction to fighting a guy called Sunspot. Yeah, even the villain has a fire-themed name in this early 2000s reintroduction. A nod to Hot Streak. Static uses like charges to save civilians, probably my favorite display of power. He creates an energy tether to pull Sunspot across town, and he uses steel girders to neutralize the threat. He's even got a new power, called Electrovision. This allows him to trace the path of bullets fired only moments ago, though the trail dries up quick, and Electrovision gives him a headache. Despite some new changes, Static is still funny, has deep empathy for people, and he clearly hasn't lost any of his nerd cred. One of my favorite things about Static is just how much he loves his powers and all the creative ways he can use them to do good. His new saucer is now made of 6 interconnected segments. It can also change shape into a longboard or other forms based on his needs, which I thought was a fun addition. Now, I remember not being overly excited about the main conflict when I finished this issue, but Static was back, and for the fans, that was a welcome shock to the system back in 2011. You can read the entire New 52 story arc collected in the trade paperback Static Shock Volume 1, Supercharged. We come to Static Season 1, Issue 1, affectionately titled Trial by Fire, in honor of the very first issue back in 1993. In partnership with DC Comics, Milestone Returns was launched in 2020 with new titles for Static, Icon and Rocket, Hardware, and other classic Milestone characters from the 1990s for a new generation of readers. Static Season 1 was written by Vita Ayala with incredible art by fan favorite and rising star Nicholas Draper Ivey. We learned that a month ago, 16-year-old Virgil Hawkins got caught in a riot caused by police at a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest. This set off the Big Bang, what the neighborhood called the riot when experimental tear gas was used on Virgil and other defenseless teenagers. Many of the victims were mutated, while others died a brutal death. Flashbacks reveal Virgil's painful exposure to the gas, which nearly killed him. Eventually, life went back to normal, including constant bullying from Francis Hotstreak Stone back at school. But this time, Hotstreak pushed Virgil too far, and the power crackling beneath the surface was finally released. Virgil and Hotstreak managed to walk away alive, and we pick up the story with Virgil back at school, but changed forever. My favorite part of this fresh new take is Virgil's inner monologue and emotional journey. The writing showcases plenty of electrifying action, but the story mostly focuses on Virgil's feelings of isolation and anger after the Big Bang. Kids died out there, and he hates how he and others were changed, hates that they had no control over their bodies or circumstances, all while demanding justice for their community. Gone is the smiling and wisecracking Virgil Hawkins we've come to know and love for the past 30 years. This Virgil is nerdy, but cool, stylish, but less awkward than what I'm used to. He's more angry too, and who can blame him? A month ago, his family was happy, without a care in the world, encouraging Virgil to apply for a prestigious science scholarship. But now, everyone is on edge with no idea how to help him, and he blames himself. His love for his family and friends shines through, but my heart goes out to him because all he wants is control of his life back. He wants things to go back to the way they were, but they'll never go back, and that's what burns him up. But I love the connection between the lightning and Virgil's inner conflict, and it's all he can do to not lash out at any of his loved ones. But he finally gets to cut loose at the climax when Hotstreak returns and nearly burns their house down. I don't know if it was intentional, but this scene strongly evoked Klan house burnings with a modern superhero spin. Plus, in Milestone Forever, an adult Static fights a clearly racist Hotstreak, so maybe that's a callback. Either way, it's a harrowing fight, and I was definitely worried for Virgil and the Hawkins family. When Hotstreak gains the upper hand, the nerdiness gets dialed up to 11 as Virgil demonstrates his martial arts skills and grasp of physics in fight. This match cut on the fire is probably my favorite panel. It's so cool. Despite the flames and all of the trauma Virgil's been through, he regains enough control to stay in the fight. That's what this issue is all about, regaining control. And fans had to control ourselves too, because they left us on a cliffhanger. But you can read the entire run in the trade paperback Static Season 1. Along with Hotstreak, Static battled other foes during the Milestone Returns era. Season 2 would pit him against fan favorite Ebon, Master of Shadows, originally created for the kidsWB cartoon. And Static Season 2, Shadows of Dakota, was his comic book debut. Virgil still grapples with challenges with his family and friends, social issues plaguing Dakota, and his new role as mentor to a brilliant science whiz named Quincy. The adventure mixes high-stakes action and dark and gritty emotional beats. Static goes to the darkest reaches of himself, and the story begs the question, what's it truly mean to be a hero? And where's the line between revenge and justice? Clandestine forces are kidnapping and killing Bang Babies, and Ebon's little brother has gone missing, sending the shadow creature on the warpath. If you're a fan of the cartoon, you've never seen Ebon like this before. Is he really the villain? You guys gotta read Static Shadows of Dakota to find out. Static also goes on adventures in the future, not only on Cartoon Network's Justice League Unlimited, but in a new 2025 miniseries written by Evan Narcisse with Nicholas Draper-Ivey back on art duties. Love that dude. Batman Static Beyond, weaving a futuristic story where Static, Terry McGinnis Batman, and the Justice League prepare planet Earth to be accepted into the intergalactic alliance called the Cooperative. Static is a full-grown man and experienced leaguer at this point, but he's still the wisecracking and swashbuckling hero we all know and love. And not above roasting Batman. The friendly banter is great. The theme of Static pushing himself beyond his limits sets the stage for the story. Back on Earth, a lot is changing too. Q-Juice, the volatile compound that granted Virgil Hawkins his static powers, has since been stabilized and helped Dakota City usher in a new era of prosperity like it's never seen before. Now fashioned into the new Q-Grid, Neo Gotham prepares to embrace the new energy source too. But in Batman's world, everyone's not so happy about the changes in Neo Gotham, and he meets a gifted but troubled young boy at school named Melvin Kim, who's right at the center of it. Everything in Melvin's life is upgrading at a rapid rate, and he feels left behind. My favorite panels of him musing on the dangers of algorithms determining his future, especially when harsh digital metrics begin cutting him off from his parents and their plans for peaceful cabin life together, far away from the demands and breakneck pace of life in Neo Gotham. Melvin Kim is about to make some dangerous changes of his own, and the world may never be the same. Batman Static Beyond issue number 1 is available in comic book stores and on digital right now. So those are all of Static's number 1 issues that I own and my favorite moments from each book. In the comments, tell me your favorite appearance of Static in the cartoons or comic books. And as always, thank you so much for watching.